Hello, Dibs. Welcome to the 2024 Dads in Business Fantasy Football Weekly Recap Show. This is the preview edition. I am Bennett, your host, and excited to bring you recaps of the fantasy football action each week in the Dads in Business League. This is something I've been doing in my family friend league for many years, and it's sort of fun to kind of go over the results every week and have some fun. And also, I'm really glad that the Dads in Business group, fantasy group, came together because we had a lack of, I don't want to say interest, but I think a lack of awareness at first. But once we got going, we have 12 guys in the group, and it's going to be fun. But unfortunately, I don't know a lot of you guys, so I'm going to take a few minutes to introduce the league, also recap the draft, etc. So here we go. Hope you enjoy. So we were able to get together on Monday night, the 2nd of Labor Day, to do the draft. We had to do it online because of the short notice. It's really tough to get 12 dudes together on that short of notice in person, but we will definitely have some in-person fantasy-related events throughout the year. Again, we were able to do it online, and it worked out perfectly. No technical glitches. So I'm going to just introduce the teams. And again, I don't know all these people, so I'm going by what you put on Facebook. So if any of this information is wrong, it's from your profile page. So blame yourself. Okay. So of course, I'm Bennett. I live in West Hartford with my family. My team name is the Killer Bees, and I was born in Marietta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. And my favorite sports team is the Atlanta Braves. Next, we have Saad Qureshi of the Mahomies, and he is originally from Karachi, Pakistan. Studied business management at CCSU and lives in Simsbury with his wife and daughter. And I'm really proud to say that I helped Saad and Cindy purchase their home. I think it was about 3 years ago in Simsbury. It was a great experience. We've kept in touch, and now he's in the Dads in Business Fantasy Football League. Next, we have Bobby, the insurance guru Lavoy. His name is not Chat GPT. He's a proud girl dad. He's a New England sports fanatic and an insurance specialist. And I have not met Bobby in person, so I can't say too much more, but feel free to introduce yourself. Same with Ryan Elbline of the Cash Flow Crusaders. Never met him in person. Looking forward to it. Studied accountancy at University of New Haven. He's married to Courtney, and he lives in Clinton. Next up is Jeff Bliss. Now, Jeff is a great guy. I've met him several times. His team is Only Idiots Pay for College. And that makes sense because what he is owner partner at Advanced College Planning. And what they do is they help high schoolers kind of navigate, the college application process, helping figure out financial aid, where they're going to go, whether they want a big school, a small school, building their resume for college, etc. So we've already met with Jeff about our son Evan, who's a sophomore in high school. So Jeff is a great guy. He's married to Allie, and he lives in West Hartford. Next, we have John Carlos Machado II. Have John Carlos Machado II. Have John Carlos Machado II. Now, his name is an emoji symbol. So I don't know what his actual team name is, but it's basically a clown symbol and team. So I think he's like the jester team or the clown team. So he'll have to answer to that. He's from Bristol. He's married to Samantha, and he currently lives in South Windsor. Next, we have Matt Ryan, the former Falcons quarterback, but Matt Ryan of Matt's monstrous team. He's the owner and operator of R&E Heating and Air Conditioning in Bristol, and he went to Bristol Eastern High School, and he lives in Bristol. So Matt's a really cool guy. I got to know him a little bit on the fishing charter in July. Of course, if I have any heating and cooling needs, I will be coming to Matt. Next up is Paul Naskey of Judgment Day. He is the vice president and sales manager at Climatech Mechanical Services. So I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that is also an HVAC company. So maybe him and Matt can collaborate or compare notes because he's down in Wallingford. Matt's in Bristol. He's married to Christy Wing Naskey. Next, we have Peter C. Bowman of the End Zone Esquires. He is a partner at BBB Attorneys. He's married to Melissa, and he lives in West Hartford. So looks like we have about 4 or 5 West Hartford guys in here. So we'll have to maybe do a West Hartford get together at some point. Because next up is Eric Schoenberg of Eric Schoenberg Sausage Party. He's also an attorney at Freeman Law Firm. He's married to Sam Lewis Schoenberg, and he also lives in West Hartford. Next up is Dan Sardilli. Next up is Dan of Go Bijan Go, and we'll get to why he or why he named his team that when we talk about the draft recap. But he's not only the owner of Sardilli Insurance in Southington, but he's also the owner of Happy's Indoor Golf. And we're going to be doing a golf event for newbies sometime in October, sometime late October. So we have the poker event coming up September 28th. And then we have the next event, which is in the planning stages. But it's a really cozy indoor golf place, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So Dan Sardilli is the owner of that. Great guy. And he lives in Southington, I think, because all of his businesses are there, but I may be remembering wrong. He may live somewhere else. And finally, we have Ben Mitchell of the Dairy Demons, and he is a financial advisor at Bay State Financial. The only thing I know about Bay State is Eric Bergen of the group. Shout out to Eric. He's very present in the Dads and Business group. He used to work at Bay State Financial before he branched out and got started his own firm. Ben is married to Jess, and he's the only out-of-stater. He lives in Derry, New Hampshire. So not sure if he used to live in Connecticut or what, but he is currently in Derry, New Hampshire, thus the name the Dairy Demons. So that's everybody in the league. Those are the 12 guys. Like I said, I know some of you better than others. Some I don't know at all. Let's take a look at the draft recap. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. As you can see on the screen here, you have the round by round coverage. It was pretty interesting that Dan Sardilli had the number 1 pick, and he chose Bijan Robinson, when everything I was reading was that Christian McCaffrey was the consensus number 1 pick. So I don't know if he's a Falcons fan like me, or just likes Bijan, or just has a feeling Bijan's going to be a stud this year. And never judge anyone on draft day, because crazy things happen. I guarantee people in this top 10, some of these people will get hurt or have bad seasons. And then some people way down in the lower rounds will have great seasons. And there's always people that didn't even get drafted that will also have great seasons. So that's really the only interesting thing about the first round, is that I was able to grab McCaffrey with the 2nd pick. And then you see a smattering of wide receivers and running backs throughout the top 12. Not the first quarterback was not taken until, let's see, we had a tight end taken in the 3rd round, Kelsey. And anyone who watched the game last night knows that Kelsey is going to be Kelsey. He's going to be non-existent for 2 quarters, and then all of a sudden he's going to catch some key passes and get his catches. So the Mahomes, apparently Saad is a Chiefs fan, and he picked Kelsey. Although later on, when he picked a quarterback, let me see if I can find it. Somewhere he picked a quarterback, and Mahomes was available, and he picked someone else. So that might have been the 3rd or 4th round. But so I was a little surprised that that Saad had the chance to get not only Kelsey but Mahomes. But obviously he had a different draft strategy. So we had a tight end in the 3rd round, and then the first quarterback. Mahomes. He picked Alvin Kamara, and then immediately after that, Mahomes got picked. And then of course once the first QB is picked, you typically see a run of the top quarterbacks. And so a few picks later, Jalen Hurts, I took Lamar Jackson at as the 3rd quarterback picked. And then, CJ Stroud was next. So you see the quarterbacks kind of going, and then it was pretty much what you would see the rest of the way, with just, people picking their draft, their team, people filling out their rosters and all that stuff. So really can't really speak. I'm not going to dive too deep into the entire draft, but it was fun. And Although it wasn't in person, we got it done in about 2.5 hours. So that was great. And going into the season, let's see here what I have next. Oh, so what they do, ESPN, immediately after the draft, they send you a little scorecard and they do the power rankings. And you can see yours truly is number one in the power rankings. And I promise that this is an ESPN thing. I didn't put myself up here, but I'm really happy, and I'm happy with my draft. I mean, looked at it afterwards, thought it was really good. And then look at this: after one game, not even 1 week, you already see some movement in the power rankings. So these are sort of irrelevant, but it's sort of fun to see where the automated AI generator of ESPN power rankings kind of comes up with these. So we'll see how that goes throughout the season. But there you go. And then finally, we just had one game last night. It was, with some good action because, of course, the first game of the year, you're going to get some fantasy stars. So you could see I got 26 points from Lamar Jackson. Very, very happy. If you watch the game or if you missed the game, you would know that with 4 seconds left on 3rd and goal, with the Ravens down by 7. Lamar Jackson, drops back, circles around, makes some crazy catch. Isaiah Likely, the tight end, makes an amazing catch, gets 2 feet in, scores the touchdown. They're going to actually, what I heard later is they were going to go for 2 to win the game. They were not going to kick the extra point. But of course, replay looked, and if you saw it, literally his big toe was on the line by probably an inch or less. So they reviewed it. It got turned over. So I almost had another touchdown from Lamar, but he had over 100 yards rushing. So I'm pretty happy with Lamar as long as he stays healthy. And then Jeff's team got Pacheco had a good night, the running back, and Zay Flowers, and sort of a standard kicker game, 9 points. So 30 points, but that's over 3 players. Cash Flow Crusaders got 19 points from Xavier Worthy, who literally had 2 catches, but they were both for touchdowns. So he gets 19 points. And End Zone Fun, no scoring there. Matt's team got 10 from Henry, who had an okay game. He did have a rushing touchdown, got 14 points from Mahomes. Good example of why, maybe Lamar Jackson or any running quarterback is better, because Mahomes is definitely the best quarterback in real life. But in fantasy, the running quarterbacks definitely have a premium. So Mahomes only got 14 points. And Go Bijan Go got, what did he get? Where did he get? 14 from Rashee Rice, who had a great game, seven catches, 103 yards, just did not get in the end zone. So touchdowns are premium, because you saw with Worthy, he only had 2 catches, but he had 2 touchdowns and he got more points than Rice. But Rice was very good in the game. So I think that's it. Those are the 6 games. Not much to report with only literally 1 game down. But we've got a game tonight, Friday, and we've got a whole slate of games Sunday and Monday. So football is back. I would prefer if it started a month late, because I'm still in baseball mode myself, but it is what it is. You got to get the draft in. So good luck to everybody. Hope this was not too long-winded. And I'll be seeing you each week on the Dads in Business Fantasy Football Weekly Recap Show. Thanks for listening.